Hey, my name is Wolfram Hempel, I'm the founder of Arcentry. In this first glimpse video, I want to talk a bit about what Arcentry is, what it will do, and what its future holds. But most importantly, I want to give you a quick demo of what it looks like. Arcentry is a tool that helps developers, backend architects, and cloud specialists plan their infrastructure. If you work in this space, you've probably been there yourself. You're faced with coming up with a plan that needs to be comprehensive. A plan that will need to convince a lot of stakeholders, your clients, your managers, your peers, the DevOps guys, and so on. And you know already that this plan will be in constant flux during the project's lifetime, continuously being refined, polished, and adapted. And of course, you won't be working alone on that plan. You'll collaborate with friends and colleagues, both in the same location and across the world. But there's a challenge. Server technology has matured a lot in the last decade, but planning tools haven't that much. At the moment, you probably send PowerPoint diagrams or Visio files back and forth, or try drawing in Google Sheets. Arcentry is designed to fix that. It will come with a wide variety of ready-to-use open source and cloud components. It will be collaborative by design, allowing you and your friends to work on and communicate about the same document in real time. It will support things like layers and versioning to help you cope with ever more complex architectures. But most importantly, it will be easy and fun to use and create beautiful, fully 3D diagrams, just in case you also need to impress the boardroom. Alright, enough talk, let me show you how it works. This is Arcentry's main interface. On the left, you can see the control panel with a component library, as well as all base elements such as lines, areas, icons, labels, and so on. Apart from that, there's the context panel that changes relative to the elements you interact with, document panel where you can load and save documents, exports and downloads, as well as account settings. We create a super simple example architecture, and we start by creating a new document. Alright, let's work from the back to the front. We'll kick off by placing two Postgres database components, one here and one here. Now they're facing the wrong direction, so let's change that. Let's assume we're working with AWS here. So let's add some Lambda functions here and connect them with lines. Now you can see that once I selected the line tool, Arcentry displayed these gray dots all around all components. These are component anchor points that attach lines directly to component groups to allow them to be moved or edited later. We'll branch off from this anchor point here and act a connecting line to our third Lambda function and set the color to something more Amazon-y. Same for the second line group. Arcentry will remember our selection for all future lines to avoid repetition. The last component we'll add is an API gateway. Let's just put that here and again wide up with lines. Just a few straight ones this time, directly to our Lambda functions. Now, finally, we want to add something representing a user. We'll do this using an icon. Let's place that here, change it to a user icon, color it Amazon orange, and make it a lot bigger. Cool. That's the basic elements. We'll surround our diagram with an area. Oh dear, that became a bit too orange. Let's change that to white with an orange outline and add some drop shadow. And just for good measure, make the angles a little bit indented. All that's missing now are labels to tell the viewer what the various parts mean. We'll add the label here and surround it with a thick white outline so that it doesn't clash with the lines underneath. Let's move all this a bit up to make space for a second label and put that here. Again, Arcentry remembers your label settings, so from here on we can just use label all the time. Now, we're quite happy with our diagram. The only thing that's missing for us now is to actually download it as an image. Arcentry is based on a technology called WebGL, which means that this scenario is an actual 3D scenario and all the elements are actual 3D elements. The reason I'm mentioning that is that this allows us to download and render our images in any resolution we want. So you can set the resolution here, choose the aspect ratio and crop the image accordingly, and then we just hit the download button and it generates these beautiful high-res images with perfect clear backgrounds. Alright, this was just a very brief overview of what the initial version of Arcentry will look and feel like. But of course we want to do a lot more. Upon release, Arcentry will focus purely on the planning aspect. But going forward, it will enable users to directly turn diagrams into production-ready deployments by exporting to Terraform or CloudFormation templates. We also want to make it possible to integrate Arcentry with monitoring solutions and time series databases to allow you to display health and resource statistics directly at the affected components, as well as auto-scale the diagram in tandem with the underlying deployment. But more than that, we feel that Arcentry has an amazing potential to become an open platform for users to collaboratively create, share, and discuss great architectures. Arcentry is currently in closed beta and will be released on the 2nd of July 2018. If you want to give it a try earlier, sign up now at arcentry.com.